what I was about to ask you. I was wondering what you said to Pat Chambers there, and it seemed like he seems like a guy you liked as a coach. Like we were wrong. It seems like you were a little demonstrative there. And then also to what I was speaking to earlier, the idea was this one of the more intelligent games your team played?
Well, as far as Pat goes, you feel bad at the end of the game. I don't know what was said. Officials are pretty good, and they're not guys that go off for no reason. So I don't know if somebody said the wrong word. I've done that once or twice in my career, so I guess I can appreciate it. But you hate to see a game end that way when the team's already down. I told him that, but I like his team a lot. I mean, when I watched these games yesterday, I watched them and Nebraska, and watched all the young guys. And then when I watched, some other teams that I think are going to be really, really good next year, I told him he's just got to keep that team together because those guys, Watkins was getting better. We did a pretty good job on him. As Miles said, Stevens and Carr are really good players, and they can play on any team in this league. So I just told him, I thought we played our best game. He didn't play as well. Maybe the fatigue from yesterday, who knows? But I love his team, and I think he's lost some games that came right down to the wire. And today the roof fell in, and I've been there before, so that's what I told him. As far as the intelligence of our team, I thought the execution of our plays was the best it's been, especially the start of that second half. And the break, Tom had 9 assists and 0 turnovers. I thought he ran the break extremely well. The reason we broke well, because we defended well, and we rebounded well. We rebounded that team by 15. The first time they rebounded us by 10. And I think that's the energy level. Palestra, I think, ghosts of the Palestra, really helped them there. And rightfully so. It was a great, great, great venue. Loved playing there. Didn't love the outcome, but I do think we've gotten better and smarter. I said in the last 10 games, our team is much, much better. Now, it didn't always show up with 4 of those losses, but I stuck to what I said. I mean, we're not great yet. We still have our moments when we do some things, but we're making some progress.
Tom, Miles is playing his first postseason. Have you seen most growth with him?
He's just such a good kid. I don't know where his growth is. You can get on him, and he doesn't waver. Like a couple times he didn't rebound well enough. A couple times he wasn't ready to shoot. You don't have to say, Miles, would you please do this, and pamper him like a superstar. You can coach him, and you can talk to him, and you can tell him. And he was jacked before the game started. This means a lot to Miles, as it does our other guys. But everybody else is growing in their game. He's growing with his leadership too, which I told him is going to be very important for his present, his future, and his long-time future. So, I felt good how he played. Nick is playing better, and Josh played really well. But Miles is a special guy. The interview, you'll love it.
Tom, I have a question for you. Every year you guys have a struggle during the regular season, and when it turns to March, you guys turn the calendar and become some different team. What do you guys do, to get to March and make it? You look like a totally different squad.
Hey, are you in the Lumber or what?
Well, I've been watching for a very long time.
Or what? Last year we won a zillion games. We didn't just turn it on at the end. This year, we're a work in progress today. We're still working on the progress. We still went over 2 hours for every practice this week, which is a joke. But we're still in, we did remove the diapers when the regular season ended, and now we're trying to move forward from there. But we're still looking at fundamental things. We're still, this year I'd say we've had some success in March. What basketball coach doesn't like March? Everybody loves March. And it was like Matt Costello and Denzel Valentine text me at 2 a.m, which I chewed him out for why they were up that late. But it was, Coach, it's our time of year, And I think there's that mentality at our place. But I don't, we've won 27 games for 5 straight years up until this year. So we weren't bad in those other ones. So your degree will be in the mail. Thanks.
Tom, you talked so much about guys getting that one and done mentality in the first postseason game for so many of your guys. I mean, how encouraging was it to see them take that kind of mentality from the start?
Well, it was very encouraging because, I mean, we really hammered on that this week. You know, every missed ball in practice, every screw up, you know. No more my bads. You know, every player in America says my bad. You say my bad in this tournament, you're usually going home. And so we just hammered on that for days. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that was constant hammering because I just don't think freshmen do understand it. You know, I wanted to have my seniors tell them, and I looked and Elvin was the only guy around. I got my juniors to tell them, and Tom was the only guy around. So I had Aaron Harris. I had actually Gavin Schilling, you know, and then like I always do, I called some former players to make sure they're texting or calling my guys to inform them of the difference of the regular season and one and done time.
And Tom, you've been talking all year about getting maybe McQuaid going, getting Langford going. You get both of them, you get stuff from Kenny today. How critical was getting some of those role players to kind of buy into their roles and perform it at a peak level at it?
You know, I said if our wings could just shoot it like they shoot it in practice, you know, and McQuaid especially, but Josh Langford was a lot more aggressive today at 5 rebounds. You can just kind of look at his stats and you can figure out how hard he's playing. And I thought Elvin Ellis did a great job on Carr. You know, we changed that matchup early. Now, he didn't shoot it as well and he forced a couple of shots. I think my guys think if I guard better defensively, that gives me a license to take bad shots offensively. So I had to straighten that out in a couple of huddles. But I really thought all three of them did a good job in what they needed to do. And then, you know, with Nick and Miles and, you know, it was Kenny did play better defense. Give my staff credit. I thought they worked hard on the Scudder report. And give us credit. But understand, too, we had 3 days. And, you know, you take a chance when you do this. But we looked at how Nebraska finished, and we guessed that Penn State, so we probably put 75-25 into that. It almost changed. So we had a leg up on what they could do, too. So, you know, understand that it was a little easier for us than it was for them.
Start right here. I feel like a couple games in a row now, the defensive effort has been better than we've seen. Has this been something you've sensed has been coming? I know they executed well offensively, but on the defensive side, have you felt like this was close as well?
I did. I you know, other than that first half when we fouled a little bit too much on those drives, you know, not having Aaron Harris, who's a guy that is athletic enough to stay in front of people. It's you know, we're mix matching a lot of things to try to cheat those coverages, but I thought it was one of our best defenses, and I'm sure at the same time they had some shots they thought were good enough and they just didn't go in. I can't reiterate enough that is going to be a really, really, really good team. Just, you know, I kind of sad to see Ohio State. Nebraska, you know, we have ADs coming out because of my favorite sport, Twitter. You know, that everybody's tweeting about this and that. You got to give guys the green light on. Hell, I'm nervous. My AD hasn't called me. I'm nervous right now, but I think some of those teams are going to be really good. There's a lot of young teams in our league. And the veteran teams, like a Minnesota, like a Michigan, are really playing well. Michigan played extremely well today, too, and unbelievable what they went through. I had off to John and his team to handle that adversity and come back. And, of course, Purdue is just solid as a rock. So Wisconsin, I think, is bouncing back. You know, our league is better. You know, got to get my pitch in for our league. Our league is a lot better than I don't know if they're talking heads. I don't know what they are out there, but it still bothers me that the perception of our league isn't what it needs to be. So I'm telling you, there's some good teams in the league. I've been in it 30 years. It's a very good team.
As this is the first conference tournament outside of Chicago or Indianapolis this century, can you describe what changes to your preparation you had this year compared to years past?
I like it, but Being a guy that's from the UP, where you could go from one side of the UP to the other in about an hour, getting to practice is a little more difficult, because of the traffic out here. I mean, God bless you people. I don't know how you do it, but that planning was different. Is it going to be 20 minutes? We talk in miles, you guys talk in minutes or hours, I should say, to get somewhere. You agree with that, huh? God bless you. And so that's probably the biggest adjustment, trying to figure out when to leave, when to be places. The venue was awesome, and different. I wish I had more time. I did do something that got my players in the African American Museum yesterday for only 2 hours, but that was like the most awesome thing you could do, and so some good. I wish we had more time to go do some of those things. I mean, 2 hours was like you got in the front door, but it was still good. It was good for them. I think there's some great things to do here. My wife's happy. I might not be with the travel, but she is.
Well, thanks very much.
Hey, thanks a lot.